What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, back for another video. And this time around, I go back and show you not only a brand new done-for-you Walmart store, but also one that ran the entire last year. Now, remember, these are two-step stores. So I'm going to show you what happened and the results this store had after running two-step for one whole year. I think you're going to be shocked. I think you're going to be salivating a little bit because these are some pretty nice numbers, and I think you're going to be in awe of the margin percentage that this store earned. I've got that and a brand new store that just started to show you these two-step stores are absolute fire, and I'm fired up for them. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. Okay, so here we are inside one of our Walmart accounts now. This is one of the accounts that we've seen in the past. So I'm going to show a couple different things for a few different reasons. First, I just wanted to say, if you guys want to get on the phone and talk about either a done for you full-on Walmart automation and or done with you, my email is below in the description box. And I'll kind of explain each of those here in this video. But primarily on this video, we're going to talk about done for you, which means you pretty much don't do anything. Everything is done for you. Now, it is pricey. You should have some disposable income in order to be able to get this going for you. But at the end of the day, these Walmart two-step drop shipping stores are working so fantastically right now that it's definitely nothing that you want to kind of push to the side. They're working phenomenally, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here in a second. So right here, I have the stats pulled up for Q4, which is October, November, December of 2022. This is how this particular store finished off the year. You can see that it did over $200,000 in total sales at about a 20% margin, which is about 40K. So imagine collecting 40K by pretty much not doing anything. So that's 40K over the course of 3 months by not really doing too much. So let's take a peek at what's going on so far in Q1, which is really only 18 days. So let's see what's happening in 18 days. And it's actually judging this by last Q1. So last Q1, it did 177,000. In order to see this Q1, we'll look at the year to date here in a second. We're going to have to do a custom, and we'll do start date January 1st, end date we'll do January 16th. And still didn't do it, so let's do that again. Start date January 1st, end date January 16th, and then we'll hit apply right here. That baby got on our way. But you'll see so far in January, just in 16 short days, this store has done over $44,600. If we do the math on that, I believe that's $8,800. And I'm going to get the calculator out because literally that's how bad I am at math. So I'm just going to do it off of 44,000 times 20%. 8,800 in total profit. That means the profit that it's made. Now this store has a 50-50 split, meaning that right now we are getting half of that. We're getting 4,400, and the person that owns the store is getting 4,400. But we are just halfway into the month. So I want you to think about that. 88,000. If it continues on the pace that it's currently going, which is very likely, 88,000 times 20% means $17,600 divided by 2. That's 8,800 a pop. And duh, Liz, couldn't you have done that on your own without the calculator? No, I couldn't have. That's why I use this shit right here, because I couldn't have done it myself. So I know a lot of people will be like, holy shit, we didn't realize you were this dumb. Reality is, yes, I am. But I'm still not that dumb because I can easily put products in a store and then resell them. I know how to do simple math, which is how much can we make as an arbitrage opportunity off of each and every single one of these products that are sold. We can see that that's 767 units. If we divide that number of units by 30 days, or right now so far 16 days, we've been averaging about 48 packages per day on this particular store, which is one of the reasons that I say that it's important to have a residential address. Now, since then, I have figured out a way to do this without a residential address. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. And I'll also talk about the single biggest obstacle that I see if you have an age store that you're converting to two-step versus a brand spanking new store. So hopefully I remember those two things by the end of the video. If not, I know somebody in the comments are going to be like, Liz, you promised to talk about this and you didn't. I can just hear it. That's fine. But so like I said, this store is crushing it. If we look at the custom year to date, the total overall year last year, and it's basically like the running total of the year. So we're looking here from January of whatever we are, 16th to now January. This store did almost $831,000. It's nearly $1 million with about a 20% margin. So again, $831,000. If we look at the 20% margin, That's $166,000 in total profit and a total done for you. You do nothing else other than put the money up, pay the fee, and then put the credit card on file so that all the orders can be done through Amazon. And that's basically it. That's how it kind of like rolls out. So this store is done phenomenally, and most of our stores do well. Now let's talk about the instance before we jump into the brand new store that just started January 1st. Let's talk about one of the obstacles that I said earlier that I would discuss. One of those obstacles, I kind of already forgot the first one, which kind of goes to show you guys, you don't have to be that smart to do these either. But the first obstacle is having an aged store. If you have an aged store that has recently been converted or is going to be converted from standard drop shipping to two-step, you run the risk of Walmart doing these sweeps that they do regularly. So what these sweeps involve is they look at a back history of the last 90 days that you've been running the store. Now, this doesn't take into consideration if you leave the store there sitting dead, not doing anything. It only looks at the last 90 days of your sales history. So let's say, for example, you sold for a year straight, you did standard drop shipping, and then you let the store sit for a year straight. It's still going to go back to the 90 days when you were selling. It's going to ignore the whole year that you took off. So what we've got going on here is what is happening with age stores that decide to convert to two-step. They're having a little bit of problems. A lot of them have been suspended and are terminated just because in the past history they did things on Walmart that Walmart does not approve of. That's going against their TOS and running standard drop shipping stores. So you have to be very careful when this happens. If you're in this particular kind of situation, then I would recommend not doing any type of drop shipping for a set period of time, perhaps going into WFS, which is Walmart's version of Amazon FBA, which is Walmart Fulfillment Services, where you physically have to ship in products and items into Walmart and then allow Walmart to sell them for you. So it's the equivalent of FBA, but on Walmart. I would recommend doing that before you jump into a two-step store, just to avoid a potential suspension and or termination altogether. So that is one way that I would work around that and try to figure it out. Even if you send very little and just allow the store to age in WFS and then convert back over into two-step, that's perfectly fine. So that is one particular instance where you kind of are screwed in that case. So you got to be very careful. Now let's just jump into the brand new store, and then I'll see if I can remember the other thing I was going to talk about. But for now, that's the most important thing. All right, so we look at the last store and we take a look at what's happening on there. We're going to look at this is a brand new one. We'll notice the last 7 days, 5,400. If we take a look at the last 30 days, which is going to include some of last month, that's 8,000. Let's just look at the last 14 because this is pretty much going to cover January. So that's about $7,000 so far. Looks like it's on its way to make a $14,000 month, which is fine considering this is the first month for this particular store. It had zero sales prior to this. January is the absolute first month that it has started, and we'll continue to move forward. We are steadily starting these stores, and they are having anywhere between 15,000 on up to 22,000 plus in their first month. And again, remember that is at a 20% margin. So they're doing very well. They're still steadily growing. And any brand new ones that we get, there's only one obstacle and one primary obstacle. I know there was another one that I wanted to discuss, but I completely forgot. But that obstacle is the amount of time that it takes to get an approval on a brand new store has increased slightly. So a lot of times Walmart will allow people to jump in early on in the year on the platform. So if your store is going to be approved quickly or more easily than usual, now is the time to try and submit those approvals to see if you can get one. But the reality is that a lot of times with these stores, as of the end of last year, it's taking upwards of 3 months to even age certain things and get them approved through Walmart. And then once it gets approved, your store can be approved. Sometimes it has to be appealed and so forth. But in general, it's taking about 3 months to get a store approval in order to begin selling on Walmart. So that can take a little bit of time. That can certainly be rather frustrating because you do have to sit on the sidelines. But again, it's only two options: convert your old one, buy one, which that's an option that's available, and or try to get an approval on a store. And that can take a pretty good chunk of time. So it's frustrating to say the least. But Walmart certainly is a fantastic platform to be right now, particularly if you're doing the two-step drop shipping method, which is the only method that I talk about. Do not go back to standard drop shipping. You're likely to get your account shut down since that is completely against Walmart's terms of service. And they've caught on to all the tips and tricks that drop shippers use in order to try to scoot by them. And those that are still using tips and tricks will eventually get caught. So if you do two-step, you're sticking to what they say are the rules. That's pretty much it for this video. Again, I just wanted to show a quick recap of how our stores are still doing, and just to show you that they are still doing terrific. And if you want to schedule a call to either talk about the done for you full on A to Z automation where you don't have to do a single thing, and or the done with you, my email is below in the description box. But I will hopefully remember what the hell I was going to talk about earlier and talk about it in the next video. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.